So step one is identifying and defining the activities and the activity cost pools. We have to define the cost object that is already given. So we need to have a cost object as a starting point. Once we have understand the cost object, then we will do the defining of the cost activities and activity pools. So the activity pool is like a bucket, like a water bucket, or you can say it's a color bucket where we accumulate those related to each other, right? So in the red bucket we will have all red balls. In the blue bucket we will have all the blue balls. So similarly, in the cost bucket we will have the cost related to that particular product. For example, all the logistic related costs will go to the activity bucket of the logistic. All the quality control will go to the quality control bucket. All the manufacturing will go to the manufacturing bucket. All the repainting, quality control, testing, handling packaging, shipping, everything will be accumulated into different buckets. So we define these activities in a way that our organization is also structured. So it's not like your organization is structured in one way and you want to define the cost pools in a different way. So our cost pools will primarily follow the same process as we are following in our manufacturing or in our service system. So even for, so this applies even for service. So I give you an example of, let's say, the hospitality. So in to produce a food in restaurant, you have to have somebody who is purchasing the product, somebody who is ordering the product. This is the process, right? So the activity cost is the procurement of the goods. Then there is somebody who is testing and receiving the goods. Then will be somebody who is cleaning those things, and then finally it will go to to the butcher, who will be maybe centralized pool to cut and trim all the items, and then it will go to the main kitchen to cook, and then finally it will go to the dresser or to the person who will be going to dress the food or serve in the plating, and then it finally go to the customer, right? So these are the activity pools for each and every dish that is coming out. Now based on this dish, or based on this activity pool, we need to accumulate the cost related to these. So cost will be coming from the labor cost, the actual person who is working in these activities, the materials that they are using, the resources that they are using, the electricity, water, time, materials, consumables, everything that they use in that process is going to be accumulated to in that particular cost pool. So we need to have that system. So it's not that just identifying the cost pool is important. You need to have a measurement or a way to measure the cost onto that particular cost pool. So it means that you may need to have a much more detailed cost collection of individual cost pool. So the selection of cost pool is very important, because this is the grain of your costing system. If you do it too detailed, then the cost will not be able to broken down in a very detailed manner, and you may not be able to get the right costing. If we don't do it in if we do it loosely, means it's not detailed enough, you will not be able to get the benefit of the activity based costing. You have to be careful in that one. So that then you have to define the activity levels. So the activity levels are unit level, means at each particular unit overall. Then you can also be at a batch level, means a group of products rather than each individual dish. For restaurant, let's say if we are doing individual fine dining restaurant, then it has to be at the unit level, because every single product is different. But if we are serving, let's say, a takeaway or a pizza company, they don't do individual pizza, right? They do batch. So today's batch, day after batch, because the main ingredient, the dough and other things, are produced in the batches rather than individually. So it depends on what kind of business you are in. You have to select the activity level based on the where you are working, at the product level or at the customer level. So you have activity levels based on individual levels. So it can be the batch of the products, it can be individual products, it can be the customer level for each individual customer, or it can be the overall company basis. And then organization sustainable level. So that's the final level of the activity. So we have to define these activities based on all the five levels. So here's an example of this classic brass company, which is doing the products and services. So here is the activity cost pool. So the activity cost pool example is customer order. So so we will be taking cost of the customer orders or product design, order size, customer relations, and others. And then we will say, okay, the machine activity measure for this is going to be the number of customer orders, number of product designs, machine hours, and the number of active customers. So that's the activity pool for the this company. For a hotel, the activity cost pools is usually the front office cost, the housekeeping, the cleaning cost, um, number of and then they can have number of check in check out that they do, number of rooms they clean, number of customers they serve, number of dishes they serve. So that's the different activities they perform, and activity measure is also different for each type of business. Then after we identify the activities and the activity pools, the for example in here customer orders. So we will assign all the cost of resources that are consumed by taking and processing the customer orders, product designs related with that, order size related with that. So we will allocate the cost of each activity, right?